Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today we're going to be doing month 3, which is March, for the Threadology Quilt. Here they are. Whoops, my letters fell off, but that's okay. And then I'll show you them again over here when we get sitting down. But now I wanted to let you know that if you want to go and get this block, it is up over at the Fat Quarter Shop. And they have reached 3 of their goals. They're waiting for the last goal to be reached, and I'm going to show you what they're giving us free for each goal that they've reached. So the first one is this here. So I went ahead and I printed it out because I'm going to go ahead and do it. That's a table runner. It's not hard. There's the directions. It's free. Just go over there and get it. The second one, let's see what the name of it is. I don't know if they gave it a name. I don't see a name on it anywhere. I just know the first one. Well, the first one says bonus setting number 1 table runner. This says bonus setting number 2. And then it just tells you how to put it together. It's setting triangles is what it is. Here's what it looks like. And you know, you can make these bigger if they don't come out to the size you want. And then bonus setting number 3. And they don't show you what it is until they've reached their goal, and then that's when they have it up there. But these are right in order, so you can just download them. All I did was just printed them out. I just wanted to let you see that in case you all wanted to do that for yourselves. And we're going to get over here and we're going to get this thing together, okay? All right, here are the blocks. Now, you can tell that A, B, C, D, the white and the red, that's going to be the one big block. Then these little ones, A, B, C, D, are the smaller 4 blocks. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our A blocks. There's only 2 of them. There's A in the large. There's 2 of those, of the little ones. We're going to cut them diagonally. Be careful because you're cutting on the bias. And also I wanted to add, for anyone that did not know, these little things are called Alpha Bitties, and I got these at the Fat Quarter Shop. They have them in 3 colors. They have them in gray, blue, and pink. If you're tuning in for the first time and you really don't know how to cut these, the thing that you can do is you can starch this piece of fabric to make it stiff, and there won't be any give in it. Otherwise, this has give in it. See that? And that's what you don't want to happen. It'll distort your square when you make it. Now what I do, you can do 2 things. After you starch it, you have your choice of marking it with your friction pen, a regular pencil, whatever you want to mark it with. Just keep in mind that when you put it, and let me get me a pen here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me go for a light color. Hold on one second. Alrighty, here's a green one I got. Now when you mark this, hold on, I have a sneeze coming. Alright, so you need to keep in mind that when you put your pen down on the corner up here at the top, depending on how thick this pen is, and this one needs to be wiped because, where's my tissue? I wiped this one because it had a little bit of the red on the tip there. I didn't want that to come off on this fabric. Alright, so like I was saying, you're going to put your pen, pencil, whatever you're using, on the tip of the fabric. So your ruler will be over to the left of it, just like if you were to put your rotary cutter, which I'll do on the next one. So I do it on both ends to make sure I have it. And then I hold this down in both places so this has no way to move. And mark it just like this. And it goes right off the edge. While I still have it down, I take my rotary cutter and cut it. Just like that. Okay? And then when you iron it, which I'll do real quick for you to show you that green will disappear. And there you go. Okay? Now, if you decide that you want to use starch, then you need to do it on all of your squares, not some of them, because starch affects the size. Let's put this one aside, and now I'm going to do this without the pencil. Let's line it up here for you. And then what you do you put your rotary cutter right on the edge, because this is even closer now than the pencil was. Okay, and then you just go up with it. And it really helps if your ruler is longer than the part you're cutting. If it is short and you're getting up to the tip, I've done this now. Let's say that my ruler was like this. I'm going to give you an example here, because these rulers are not cheap. This was a long time ago. I had a ruler, and it would have been a squared ruler, so it would have fit like right there. The problem was, when I cut, I'm going to protect my blade here. When I came up, I accidentally went to the left, and when I did, I chipped the corner of my ruler. So every time I used that ruler, when I came off of it, it had a tendency to go to the left. It only made the chip bigger and bigger and bigger, and it distorted the corner of whatever the fabric was I was using. So that's why you don't want to use a ruler that's just the exact same size. You want to go a little bit bigger with it. If you're good and you're a pro and your ruler's this small, you can move your ruler up. Okay, it just takes practice. That's it. You're going to go ahead and cut all of the rest little A's, and then we're going to come back and we're going to assemble our blocks. Actually, I think we're going to have to cut, let me see here. We're going to be cutting our C's next. So I'll tell you that after we get these all these A's cut. And I did want to tell you that sometimes people will stack like 4 of these little squares together. I don't do that, because I did it one time and it distorted and it threw off. I got the top one right and all the rest were not right. So I had to go recut them. So I don't even do that anymore. I don't have a problem with doing one at a time. I am not in a big hurry when I'm quilting. I'm taking my time. I'm trying to enjoy it. I'm not trying to get frustrated. Okay? You do it any way you want, whatever's most comfortable for you. So it wants us to cut our C blocks, which are the same size as those A's were, and the both the A's, the big and the little. And what I do when I cut these is I flip them over. I do not want to be looking at the picture and get distracted and try to make something even or blend in or whatever. Okay, so the backside, unless you got really good eyes and you can see something backwards, I kind of like it better. And then just turn it right side like that. I do the other one also. I'm not marking it. I'm just putting my ruler on the tip of it. Trying to be quite. There we go. And now I'm going to do the little ones, which are these. Now keep in mind, they're not these little bitty ones. They're the bigger ones, okay? Pay attention to your letters if you've marked them. Now the next thing it's having us do is take our D square, which is this one here. Get that out of the way. Close that. So here's our D. And our white B. And it's wanting these two put together. And then it wants the B and the D put together, just like that. So we're sewing down here and sewing down here. So I'm going to pin this. All right, so they can both be pinned like this, and I can chain stitch them as long as I know that when I'm done, one gets turned like this and one stays the same like that. Go ahead and take these and pin them together, and we're going to chain stitch all of these. Okay, so then I wanted to go ahead and add, because while I was pinning those little ones, I got to thinking, if you guys have used your own fabric making this and you fussy cut it, these little squares, keep in mind, for example, I'm going to turn this around here, that if you fussy cutted this fabric, you're going to want it to be up and down so that you can see it, or sideways, whichever way that you fussy cutted it. And the same goes for this one. So, and this is why I'm explaining it to you. Because I have them pinned like this, the same way, you would not want to have your fussy cut both going upward. you would want one of them going downward because you're going to be turning it. So if you want this one to be upward, it's actually going to be upside down. That's just if you're fussy cutting. I don't know if you guys are or not, but just to let you know that, in case you've forgotten it because you're just watching along and, you know, sometimes you don't pay attention. It's happened to me before, where I've had to recut out my thing because I wasn't paying attention. All right, so let's get going here. Let me put this on. And I'm just going to take them all and just sew one right after the other. Okay. You guys can do the same thing. Just take your time. Now you guys can listen to the radio. You can watch a TV program, a podcast, somebody else while you're doing this. This is kind of mindless where you're not really having to think too much when you do this part here. I can't do it because of rights, but then I wouldn't be able to talk above anybody either. If you have a knee lift on your sewing machine, now would be the time to go ahead and put it together and stick it on your machine if you don't normally use it, because then you could lift your foot like this if your machine doesn't do it automatically for you. And there we go. Now we just need to cut them all apart. All right, I went ahead and I put the seams towards the dark on every one of them, because keep in mind, these are going to be opposites like this. And when they're opposites like that, they will nestle. And we're going to put these together now. So let me get them. All right, now we're going to chain stitch these, just like we did before. Alrighty, there we go, and go ahead and clip it, and we will iron them open. And there we have them all ironed. That's what they should look like at this point. And now I'm going to work on the big one first. It's always easier to see something bigger when you're going and you're making something, because what it's asking you to do is wanting you to put these triangles together, because then we're going to put them on these blocks. So let me move this block out of the way, and you're going to take this triangle, and here's where you want to pay attention. Now, C is the red, A is the white, and based on the picture, this part here goes at the top, okay? So there's the top part of it. Let me back it up a little bit so you can see it. There you go. So this is the top, and you're going to take this top, I'm calling the large side the top, and you're going to put them together. So it's got a point going up here like an airplane. Okay? And you're going to put these two together. This is C, This is A. Remember, all the white ones are A. The colored ones, I mean the other letters. So just fold it together and pin it. Oh, now what I'm going to do is I do not want to start my needle in this corner because it will bury down inside of my machine. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. All right, I've pinned 2 with the red. Now they're all facing each other. So the red are on the top and 2 with the white on the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chain stitch these. There we go. We're going to cut these apart. What you're looking for in this square is, I know these two come together. These two right here, but that's fine. What you're trying to create is red, white, red, white. See that? White, red, red, white. That's what you're trying to look at. So go ahead and look at the back of this. Find out which way the seam went. And then do that one accordingly. And then you won't be wrong. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin this together. And then I'm going to set that aside because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do all of these little triangles here. Let me get mine. So you should have about 16 of them. So when you get done, I believe you've got 8 of them, if I'm counting right. Alrighty, so I stopped a minute here because this might get a little difficult for you if you're really, really new. So let me show you what I did. I'm going to go ahead and I'm putting 2 pins in here, one on because of my seams. And then this is going to be sticking out at the edge. So don't panic about it. What you want to do is just go ahead and smooth out your fabric to the end, which you can see it right here. You can see the tip top of it. Let me see if I can get it in the camera. See it? Put your pin in there. Don't worry about that. So just do opposite sides and then put it underneath your machine and go ahead and you can come off the edge. You don't have to come to the corner of this. All right, I'm going to show you. And I'll do this one side for you so that you have an idea. Let me move the camera a little bit closer. So I'm going to come down with my foot. And then let me pick the camera up and show you what I'm talking about here. All right. Right here is the edge of my fabric. Right here. I'm up here. My needle is going to go in down up in here. But I'm not off the fabric. Because you can see, so I can get a little closer up underneath here. You can see, I'm going to put my needle down. And see, it's not on the edge. There for you. See? See if it'll focus. There we go. It's before the fabric right here. This fabric right here. See, the fabric goes down underneath here. Okay? Back it up a little bit. There we go. So I'm before the fabric, but I'm not on the edge because the edge is down underneath the foot. That's the way you want to start it. So you're starting off your fabric here. You're coming onto your fabric. And then just go on off the other fabric. We'll cut those tips off when we're done before we put the next 2 sides on. All right, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and sew this. While I'm piecing these and sewing these, I'm trying to think if I did not know how to do it so that I can try to troubleshoot some things for all the new people that have never done this before. Because if I hadn't done it, I would have been confused by that corner down there, not knowing enough about piecing. So then we just go ahead and do it like before. And I'm going to bring this up here so you can take a look at it. And that's where it started, right off the edge. You can see that. All right, I'm going to go ahead all the way down to the end and continue. Take my pen out, make sure that this fabric is not off of the, there we go, right here. And I'm going to go ahead and come right on off. It's not going to hurt a thing. See that? And then here's what you do. Let me get it in the camera. You take your ruler, and we're only doing this edge right here. Put your ruler right up against the edge. Right up against the edge of that fabric. Okay? Right there. You take your rotary cutter, and off it comes. That's it. Okay? And you're going to do the same thing with this other side. And I like to be able to see when I cut. People ask, well, which side do I cut on? Do I cut on this side? Do I cut on this side? Well, this is the side that this fabric is the important part right now. So that's the side you want to be cutting. If you were cutting on the other side, you might accidentally cut this fabric. You might get too close to it. So it's best to come right up against it. Just like that. Cut it off. And there you go. Let's see if I can open it for you. Back it up a little bit. There you have it. Okay? And then when you go to put the next piece, because I'll go ahead and iron this down. Lay it like this. You don't need to iron it down now. When this piece comes on, that's that piece that goes there, because remember we're doing red and white. And then when you pin it, it's going to come off the edge just like before, and we're going to repeat the same process. But now I'm going to do the opposite first, so I can get that tail off, so it doesn't get confusing on you. All right? All right, so when we pin these, remember now, there's 4 of each color. So 2 will have red on the left, and 2 will have red on the right. Otherwise, we won't be able to put our squares together. So keep that in mind when you do these little ones. Always have 2 colors on the right side, with the white fabric on the left side, and then 2 on the left side of the color fabric with the white on the right side. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew all these little, excuse me. Now keep in mind, don't sew these into squares, since that's usually what we do with these these triangles. And then I also wanted to mention the individual who said that the Aida is actually pronounced with a long E, which would be Aida. Actually, this is one of those words that is like potato, tomato, tomato, because it depends on your history with words, language, what you've heard, what you've learned, in order for you to say either, in this lady's case, Aida, or in my case, Aida. Now, I heard the word from my grandmother. So that's where I learned the word. I've never ever heard of it pronounced with a long E. That doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because I haven't heard it doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because a lot of people may never have heard it that way still does not make it wrong. You can say it any way you want. Some people just call it cloth because they're scared to say it. But I just wanted to bring that up because I had never seen that before, and it was in one of my comments, and I thought that was pretty neat. I like it when people bring up things that I don't know and things I haven't heard. It just teaches me more. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. So let's go ahead and get started on this. And of course I'm going to chain these also. It'll go a lot faster if you chain them. I was at the quilt shop a while back. I've never used it yet. I'm just now, because I want to make another bag. Just a small one, you know, not a big one. But anyway, it's a netting. And I'm going to make it kind of based on using the vinyl. It's not vinyl. There's no vinyl in it. And I'll make a little Just a little bag. You can, I'm trying to think. I've already got the fabric cut out for it. I'll give you the dimensions as I'm making it. I think this stuff was like $5. It wasn't that much. It was just in like a little catch-all thing at the door, you know. That's how you catch your eye on something. I bought blue and red, and I'm going to make mine out of red, but the fabric that I'm going to use around it, because I'm going to actually put a zipper in it, is purple. And then I have a purple zipper too. I'll show you guys when I make that. That one was off, I can tell you right now. I did not get it at the bottom, and I don't know why. Let's just pin this, and we'll see if that'll take care of that bottom. It tends to come apart for some reason. I didn't want to put a bunch of pins in here, but by pinning up this side, then it's going to hold that tight. So that took care of that problem. I might have to do it to the next one, but I'll definitely have to do that one over. So why don't you guys go ahead and finish doing yours, and then after I get done, I'll go ahead and come back after I iron these and show you what they look like. Now you want to do the same thing with these little ones as we did with the big ones. So start them off on the edge of your fabric just like before. Now cut all these out, iron them, and while you're looking at them, when you iron them, see that their points are all correct, because now would be the time to go ahead and fix them if they're not. Now we're back to the large blocks because all the little ones are done. So take this end, which is the left or the top, the two ends that you did last on there, iron them so that the fabric, take your fabric like this on the iron, go ahead and relax your seams, flip it over and iron it so that the seam right here is facing upward. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pin this side, and you're going to have this little piece off because you went and cut your corners, remember? So go ahead and attach it just like that on both sides. And then when I open it, I'm going to show you what you're going to end up with. And you can start right on the edge of your fabric. Let's see if that'll work. Yep, it worked. I'm going to get a little closer. There we go. Be careful with the pins on the left-hand side if you pin both sides so they don't stick you in the arm. When it comes off, it'll come right between these two little peaks right there. It goes on like that and comes off like that. Now I'm going to take it over to the ironing board. Whoops. I'm going to take it over to the ironing board and iron it. What your block is going to look like when you're finished with all the sewing and the ironing. You can square this up. It should be 12.5 by 12.5. And then the little ones will be 6.5 by 6.5. Okay, there is all of our blocks for month 3, which is March, for the Threadology block of the month. I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. I will see you next month for the next one. And these turned out really, really nice. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.